Peds Patrol here. Now that winter is over, let's talk about allergy and allergy season. As temperatures get warmer, it's very common for the grass to get greener and trees to start growing. Not only that, but the air quality is different as well as not as dense, which means there can be a lot of triggers that will start popping up and causing a havoc. So if you see symptoms like runny nose, watery eyes, a tickling or itching behind your throat, drier skin, rash, like eczema, that could be concerning for an allergy. And if you see yourself going to a pharmacy or a grocery store getting a lot of tissue paper, some nasal sprays, or eye drops, that could potentially be a reason why. So a quick and easy way to potentially identify a trigger is to look at a pollen calendar and see what month you're in, and you can pretty much get an idea of what possible triggers might exist, especially if you have environmental or seasonal allergies. Now, obviously, if you live in an area filled with trees specifically that causes a trigger, that might be really hard to escape. So you may need to take medications like antihistamines or nasal steroids or other types of medications to really help keep your symptoms controllable. You can always talk to your family doctor or pediatrician and get a referral to an allergist, which can do a skin test to figure out what your specific triggers are. And sometimes you can even get medications to suppress your immune system to help reduce those symptoms on a year-to-year basis. Many medications you can get over the counter and they're pretty good. A really quick update for pediatrics, we don't typically recommend Benadryl anymore and use instead second generation antihistamines like Reactin or Claritin or Arius, which can really help in those symptoms. It causes children to not sleep as much, which is what we don't want. And nasal steroids and nasal saline rinses are also pretty good in children who don't really like pills. Sometimes kids can have what's called oral allergy syndrome, which is essentially tickling behind their throat and some sensitivity and some itchiness around their mouth area and some swelling as well. There are a lot of plants and trees and fruits and vegetables that are related to each other, and sometimes you may have sensitivity to those. You definitely need to see an allergist to figure out what might be your trigger and how to avoid those fruits or vegetables, especially if they're in season. Last but not least, there are always mimickers of allergies, things like asthma, eczema, food protein allergy as well. So definitely check in with your family doctor or pediatrician to figure out which one is which and what we need to target and what we need to treat with. And of course, if you have hives, itchiness, but also vomiting, fatigue, or changes in your mentation or your behavior, then maybe you might have anaphylaxis, and that you definitely need to call 911 or go to the hospital.